The lawyer's office smelled like old leather and broken promises. "I'm sorry, Miss Catherine," Mr. Henderson said, sliding the document across his mahogany desk. "But this is your mother's final will, properly witnessed and notarized just 3 weeks before her passing. There's nothing we can do to contest it." I stared at the paper, my hands shaking. Everything. The house I grew up in, Mom's savings, her jewelry, her investments. All of it went to my sister Veronica. All I got was a single sentence. "To my daughter Catherine, I leave my blessings and best wishes for her future." Blessings and best wishes. After 34 years of being the daughter who stayed close, who visited every Sunday, who held Mom's hand through chemotherapy. "This doesn't make sense," I whispered. "Mom promised me the house. She said Emma could grow up there, that it would always be our family home." "I understand this is difficult," Mr. Henderson said with practiced sympathy. "But the will is clear and legally binding. Your mother was of sound mind when she made these changes. 3 weeks before she died?" I looked up at him. She could barely remember my name 3 weeks before she died. The cancer had spread to her brain. The witnesses confirmed she understood what she was signing. Who were the witnesses? He glanced at the document. Veronica Morrison and Marcus Chen. My stomach dropped. "Veronica is my sister. She's the beneficiary. How is that legal?" "She witnessed her mother's signature, not her own inheritance. It's unusual, but not illegal. And Mr. Chen is a notary public who confirmed your mother's mental capacity at the time of signing." "Marcus Chen is Veronica's boyfriend," I said flatly. Mr. Henderson's expression flickered, just for a moment, with something that might have been discomfort. "I see. That is concerning. But without proof of undue influence or mental incapacity, the will stands." I walked out of that office feeling like I'd been hollowed out. My daughter, Emma, was waiting in the car, her face pressed against the window. At 10 years old, she was perceptive enough to know something was very wrong. "Mommy?" she asked as I slid into the driver's seat. "What happened? Do we get to keep Grandma's house?" I couldn't speak. I just shook my head. Emma's face crumpled. But Grandma promised. She showed me the room that would be mine. She said we'd paint it purple together." "I know, baby." I managed starting the car. "I know." We drove in silence for a few minutes before Emma spoke again, her voice small and angry. "Aunt Veronica did this, didn't she?" "Emma." "She was always there those last few weeks. Always sending me out of the room, always talking to Grandma alone." Emma's hands were clenched into fists. "She's mean and she's a liar, and I hate her." "We don't hate family," I said automatically, though the words tasted like ash. "Grandma wouldn't have left you nothing," Emma insisted. "She loved you. She told me all the time how you were her blessing." She paused. "That's what the will said, right?" "Blessings?" I glanced at her sharply. "How did you know that?" "Because Grandma used to say it. Catherine is my blessing and Veronica is my lesson." Emma frowned. "I asked her once what it meant, and she said some people teach you what to be, and some people teach you what not to be." My eyes filled with tears. That sounded exactly like something Mom would say. 2 weeks passed. Veronica had already put Mom's house on the market. To settle the estate quickly, she claimed. She cleaned out the jewelry, the furniture, everything. When I asked if I could have Mom's recipe box, something with no monetary value but filled with memories, Veronica said it had been accidentally thrown out during cleaning. I knew it wasn't an accident. Veronica had always been cruel in small, deliberate ways. Emma had been quiet since the lawyer's meeting, spending hours in her room. I assumed she was grieving, processing the loss of her grandmother and the injustice of what had happened. I didn't realize she was investigating. "Mom," Emma said one Saturday morning, walking into the kitchen with her tablet. "I need to show you something." "What is it, honey?" "Remember how Grandma got those cameras after someone tried to break in last year?" I nodded. Mom had installed a security system, discrete cameras in the living room, hallway, and her bedroom. After she got too sick to manage the technology, I'd assumed Veronica had disconnected them. "I don't think Aunt Veronica knew about the cloud storage," Emma said, her eyes bright with something between triumph and anger. "Grandma showed me once how to access it on her tablet. She said it was our secret, in case anything ever happened to her." My heart began to pound. "Emma, what did you find?" She turned the tablet toward me and pressed play. The footage was from Mom's bedroom, dated 3 weeks before her death. Mom was in bed, looking frail and confused. Veronica sat beside her, holding papers. Mom, you need to sign this. Veronica's voice was patient but firm. It's just an update to your will. Catherine agreed to it. On screen, Mom's face was clouded with confusion. Catherine agreed? Yes, Mom. She said she doesn't need the house. She has her own place. But I'm going through a divorce, remember? I need help getting back on my feet. Divorce? Mom looked bewildered. When did you get married? A few years ago, Mom. You were at the wedding. Veronica's voice had an edge now. Just sign here. Catherine wants you to. I should call Catherine. Mom, she's at work. She said to just sign it. She trusts me to handle it. The video showed Mom's shaking hand signing the document, guided by Veronica. Then Marcus appeared on camera, notarizing it without asking Mom a single question about whether she understood what she was signing. The video ended. There are more, Emma said quietly, scrolling through files. 5 more videos of Aunt Veronica convincing Grandma to sign things. In one of them, Grandma asks for you 3 times, and Aunt Veronica keeps saying you're too busy to visit. I was shaking. Emma, how did you? I remembered the password. Grandma made it my birthday. Emma's voice cracked. She wanted someone to find these, Mom. She knew something was wrong, even when she was confused. Why else would she keep the cameras running? I pulled my daughter into my arms and held her tight while she cried. Then I grabbed my phone. Mr. Henderson's expression changed dramatically as he watched the videos. This is undue influence, he said, his voice sharp and professional now. Clear, documented undue influence of a person with diminished mental capacity. Mrs. Morrison repeatedly lied to your mother, claimed you had agreed to terms you never agreed to, and prevented her from contacting you for verification. Can we contest the will now? Contest it? Miss Catherine, this will is fraudulent. I'm obligated to report this to the State Bar. Mr. Chen could lose his notary license and potentially face criminal charges. And your sister, he paused. Your sister could face charges for elder abuse and fraud. I don't want her arrested, I said, surprising myself. I just want what Mom actually intended. Do you have any documentation of your mother's real wishes? I thought for a moment, then remembered. Emails. Mom wasn't great with technology, but she learned to email. We have years of correspondence where she talks about me inheriting the house, about Emma growing up there. Get me everything you have, Mr. Henderson said. With this video evidence and supporting documentation, we can have the fraudulent will thrown out and revert to the previous will, the one your mother created 5 years ago, before the illness. What was in that will? He pulled up a file on his computer. An equal split between you and Veronica, with a house specifically designated for you and a cash equivalent going to her. That was the will your mother maintained for 15 years, until 3 weeks before her death. The legal process moved quickly once we had the evidence. Mr. Henderson contacted Veronica's lawyer, who watched the videos and immediately advised her to settle. Veronica called me 2 days later, her voice venomous. You had no right to spy on Mom. Emma found security footage. I interrupted. Footage of you lying to a dying woman with dementia, telling her I agreed to be disinherited when you know I never said any such thing. Silence. You manipulated her. I continued, my voice steady despite my shaking hands. You isolated her from me, you lied to her repeatedly, and you did it all for money. I needed that money. Veronica's voice cracked. Do you know how much debt I'm in? I have nothing, Catherine. You have a good job, a nice apartment, and you have a conscience you've been ignoring. Mom trusted you. I trusted you. What do you want? She asked bitterly. To see me arrested? I want you to agree to enforce Mom's real will, the one from 5 years ago, before you started manipulating her. Equal split, with me getting the house. And if I don't? Then Mr. Henderson submits the video evidence to the district attorney and you face criminal charges for elder abuse and fraud. Marcus loses his notary license at minimum. At worst, you both go to jail. Another long silence. I'll agree to the settlement, she finally said. But don't expect me to apologize. I don't, I said. I expect you to stay away from me and my daughter, permanently. I hung up. 3 months later, Emma and I moved into Mom's house. We painted the bedroom purple, just like Grandma had promised. We planted roses in the garden, Mom's favorite. We found the recipe box in the garage, not thrown away, just hidden, and spent weekends baking Mom's cookies and pies. Emma's school had a Heritage Day project where kids presented someone important in their family history. Most kids chose grandparents or great-grandparents. Emma chose her grandmother, but she also talked about integrity, honesty, and standing up for what's right even when it's hard. My grandma taught my mom to always tell the truth, Emma said in her presentation, which I watched on video later. And when someone tried to steal from us by lying, my grandma made sure we could prove the truth. She left us cameras and passwords and evidence because she knew that truth always matters more than money. She got an A+. That night, as I was tucking Emma into her purple bedroom, she looked up at me with serious eyes. Mom, do you think Grandma knew that she was leaving us clues? I thought about it. About Mom teaching Emma the password, showing her the cloud storage, keeping those cameras running even when she was too confused to remember our names. I think your grandma knew exactly what she was doing, I said, kissing Emma's forehead. I think she knew Veronica couldn't be trusted, and she made sure the truth could come out even after she was gone. I miss her, Emma whispered. Me too, baby. But she's still taking care of us, isn't she? Through the house, through the evidence she left, through all the love she poured into this place. Emma nodded, then smiled slightly. And through her recipes. I'm making her chocolate chip cookies for the bake sale tomorrow. I laughed. Of course you are. 6 months after we moved in, I was going through Mom's things in the attic when I found a letter tucked inside an old photo album. It was addressed to me in Mom's handwriting, dated 2 years before her death, before the cancer, before the confusion. My dearest Catherine, if you're reading this, I'm gone, and I hope you're in the house we both love. I'm writing this now while my mind is still clear, because I know what's coming. I've always known what Veronica is. I love her, but I'm not blind. She takes shortcuts. She lies when it's convenient. She sees people as resources. You're different. You give without expecting anything in return. You stay when others leave. You're the daughter who chose love over convenience every single time. The house is yours. It's always been meant for you. I've made sure of it in every legal way I can. But if something goes wrong, if Veronica finds a way to manipulate things after I'm too sick to fight, remember that I prepared for that too. I installed those cameras for more than burglars. I set up the cloud storage with Emma's birthday as the password for a reason. That girl is smart and good, just like her mother. If you need proof of truth, she'll find it. Truth always wins, Catherine. It might take time, but it wins. The house is yours because you earned it through years of love, not because of blood or obligation. You earned it with Sunday dinners and chemotherapy appointments and late-night phone calls when I was scared. Veronica will try to take it. She takes everything she can, but I've made sure the truth is there, waiting to be found. Live in this house, fill it with love, teach Emma to bake my recipes. Plant roses. Be happy. That's your real inheritance, not the building or the money, but the knowledge that you are exactly the daughter I always hoped you'd be.